We're at the 15-minute count now until we get to the top of the hour. A 1 o'clock start for our upcoming 5-star winning round event. And again, it is brought to us by Mars Equestrian. They can be found online at marsequestrian.com, on social media at Mars Equestrian. And sponsorship by Mars Incorporated is the link between the iconic brand and the equestrian community. For generations, Mars has celebrated a rich equestrian heritage, and through purposeful partnerships is committed to the sport and to building an enduring legacy. From world-class competitions across all equestrian disciplines to stewarding the power of horses on society and sustainability, Mars Equestrian is dedicated to improving the lives of horses, pets, and the people who love them. Again, find out more online at marsequestrian.com and at Mars Equestrian on social media. First round of competition, we do have a couple of scratches out of the order you should be aware of. The 16th on the original list and the 32nd on that original list. So it will be 2 scratches, taking us down to 36 total. First round entries, top 10 will be qualified for the winning round. We'll be underway here at 1 o'clock with the first on course. Well, folks, we are about to kick off here in about 7 minutes with the feature in the 5 stars here today. Each week we have a winning round competition, which again is one of those where we have a predetermined number of riders qualifying for the winning round. After the first trip with all entries competing, we'll see who makes it into the top 10 spots to be a part of the winning round. And with the scratches, we are down to 35 total rides in round 1 today. Again, course is brought to us by Bernardo Costa Cabral and Chris Barter, the course designing team. And the first round will begin at the fence number 1, which is that Garden Gate vertical, tan and white stripes, heading toward the hotel. That's going to be your first jump on the course. Turning to the right, the green, white, and gold stripe vertical, number 2, goes toward the home side of the arena. And then up toward the flagpoles, if you'll take a look, just beside our gazebo is an orange and white oxer, which will be fence number 3. That one's heading toward the flagpoles here in our grand arena. Make a left-hand turn, go past the scoreboards on this end, and they'll go back down toward home over a triple combination. That uses the Longines timepiece wings. And, of course, the signature Longines timepiece vertical oxer vertical is a 1-stride to a 2-stride combination, numbered 4A, 4B, and 4C. They'll turn slightly to the left after they land at 4C and jump the Beamer vertical with those solid orange rails heading toward the hotel at number 5. Roll back to the right, jumping away from the hotel over the 5-star red, white, and blue oxer. That's number 6. And then the second combination they'll encounter uses the signature World Equestrian Center logo wings. 7A is the oxer. 1 stride beyond that, 7B is the vertical coming out of that combination. The pink, green, and white striped peacock oxer, which is headed directly toward the silver jury booth, is number 8. And then they'll turn to the left, roll back to go across the Longines North American League vertical. Purple and blue pillars. The purple, blue, and white striped rails and planks make up the fill there at fence number 9. Continuing down to the wheels up oxer, number 10. Then they'll make one more turn away from the hotel to jump the final line, which is number 11, your All-Tech oxer, and number 12, the Yeti vertical with the blue and white striped rails on the judges' side of the arena. The total distance from the start line to the finish line is 460 meters. Time allowed is calculated at a rate of 375 meters per minute, and that equates to a 74-second time allowed. Now, as always, we use the standard scoring guidelines here. Lowering of fence height incurs a 4-fault penalty each time it takes place. So 1 rail equals 4 faults, 2 knockdowns equals 8 faults, 3 rails equals 12 faults, and so on. Exceeding the time allowed gives 1 fault for each commenced second over. That means if they have 74 seconds and change, just a fraction over, incurs a single time fault. Once they go past 75 seconds with change, we'll give them 2 time faults, and so on. There's also the possibility that a horse is disobedient, refuses, circles, crosses their own path, takes a step backward. In any of those cases, we'll give them 4 faults if it happens once, and an elimination result if it happens twice. Also, if there's a refusal that disrupts a fence, we'll need to take a timeout to reset the jump. So in addition to the 4 faults for the refusal in that case, we'll add 6 seconds on the clock. And now you have the basic scoring guidelines that'll be used here, but keep in mind, even if we have more than 10 clear entries, only the fastest 10 will make it into the second round, and the second round return order will also be determined by their first round scores. And that means that if there are more than 10 clears, the fastest 10 make it. The slower of those entries go toward the top of the order. The faster of those clear entries go toward the end of the order. We could potentially have not even 10 clears, but some entries with faults among those top 10. Bottom line is, faults. Those with more faults would go toward the end of the order, but only top 10 will come back in the winning round. Just about 2 minutes from now, we'll see the first of our entries coming down the ramp. Yet again, we have an international crew today. 17 top 100 riders are among the 35 total. 14 nations will be represented in our 5-star winning round event that's coming up again very shortly with the first horse. Once again, our Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Ocala 5-star division, of course, is where you can find the World Cup qualifying class that'll be scheduled to take place here tomorrow night under the lights. 7 o'clock will be start time for competition. But we do want to thank Longines as title partner and official timekeeper of the series. Longines proud to be associated with the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup North American League in Ocala. And their passion for the equestrian world goes back to 1869. Today, the brand is proud to support the most prestigious equestrian events across the globe, and the event is also the perfect occasion to showcase the official watch, the Longines Prima Luna, with its graceful curves, timeless elegance. The automated timepiece reflects Longines' dedication to femininity, precision, and everyday sophistication. Available in a range of colors and materials, the Prima Luna is designed to accompany life's many moments. And again, it's brought to us by Longines, title sponsor of the World Cup Series. And the big class coming up here tomorrow night will be the last stop on the North American League Tour on the way to the Fort Worth Finals happening in April. So not only is there prize money on the line, $300,000 in total in that Grand Prix tomorrow night, but there's also those valuable World Cup Finals qualifying points. Today's 5-star event, of course, brought to us by Mars Equestrian. Again, the sponsorship that ties the iconic brand to the equestrian community. And you can find them online at marsequestrian.com. Here is top of the order, Vanessa Hood, in our winning round competition. She is here for Israel and riding FBW Graphic, a 13-year-old bay mare by Graf Rhapsody, owned by Take Two LLC. We'll start things off here with the Felipe Amaral and Kirby Venet Reutershoff, in fact. So our rider for Brazil starting things off. This will be number 366. All right, 70.95 is the time. Again, that time allowed 74 seconds, and they will finish comfortably inside of that, carrying just the one knockdown penalty, which is for fault. 70.95 with 4. Now it's Vanessa Hood's turn, and she'll be in with FBW Graphic. This is a 13-year-old mare by Graf Rhapsody, and an entry owned by Take Two LLC. Rider for Israel, again, Vanessa Hood. Vanessa Hood finishes up on a time of 73.02. She is penalty-free over the course, so that bodes well for her and FBW Graphic. We'll see if we get more than 10 clears, but right now, sitting pretty early on in the lists. This is a rider for Canada, and one who's already been twice a winner, once a runner-up, Erin Ballard. And she's already received the tone. And here aboard New Star van de Berghove, 13-year-old bay Belgian mare by Gaetano van Berkenbroek, owned by Ilan Ferder. Nine faults total there. Day jumping, 1 on the clock at a 74.82 effort. 9 is the total. Now the bell rings for our Irish rider, Tom Walkman, number 59 on the world list here with O'Bara's Lara. This is an 11-year-old mare by Louis Dam, owned by Coolmore Show Jumping. Third to go, or actually fourth to go here in our winning round competition. 72:36 the finish time. That's a penalty free, and now we have 2 faultless finishers here in round 1. Aaron Vale now aboard Elios du Moulin coming up. He's currently the number 28 rider in the world, and of course representing the USA here aboard this 9-year-old race, All Francais Gelding by Untouchable, owned by the Elios du Moulin group. 118 is the number. This is our 5th to go. Well, you may have noticed Aaron picking up the pace after the knockdown there. Elios du Moulin with 4 faults will be a 70.15 finisher, and there is the chance that the quicker 4 faulters could make it into the top 10 rankings, so that explains the increased pace after the rail. Now the 6th on the list, Mark Blumen is with us here riding on behalf of Colombia and aboard Conquer PS. He's currently ranked number 53 and is aboard this 12-year-old Bay Oldenburg mare by Confargos. Israel Blumen, Norma Leticia Coelho Garrido, and Over the Top Stables, the owners. Well, the knockdown penalties came at fence 3 and 4A for Colombia's Mark Blumen and Concar PS. 8 faults the score, 71-23 is the time. Scott Keach comes to us now, was solely focused on the show jumping sport, but he has represented Australia in both show jumping and the eventing worlds. He's here with Van de Couvray for Malé Dudep and Scott Keach. 9-year-old Chestnut Self-Francais gelding by Vigo Darsois, number 596.
Can I get some bottled water to 102, please? Water to 2, please.
71-76 will keep Scott Keach inside of that time allowed of 74 seconds, and then the Couvre clear, and that's our third to do so. Three clears so far, and the best 10 will come back. And next to show here, we did have a late scratch in the order. So Ireland's Shane Sweetnam stepping in with Corian van Klepsut-Z. He's the current number 11 world rider, and here aboard a 10-year-old. Chestnut Zangersade Gelding by Comme Il Faut. Entry owned by Shane Sweetnam along with Vauquests LLC. Adding another clear to the list here, Shane Sweetnam wraps up on Corian van Klepsut-Z and gives himself a potential opportunity to come back in the winning round. We've got number 547 in next. Here's Lily Keenan for the USA on board Chagrin d'Amour. 29th in the ranking, and a 9-year-old chestnut stallion by Candy de Nantuel, the entry of Chansonet Farm LLC. Lily Keenan is up. That'll be a four-fault effort in 72.01 for Lily Keenan and Chagrin Demore. 4 faults is the score. Right now, that one sits in the 7th position. And remember, we will have a clean slate winning round. So even if you have penalties in the first round, there is the potential of coming back to vie for the prize money here today. Next to go for Mexico is number 497. It is Tanamara Makari here with Quinala T, 497. And she'll be aboard this 10-year-old gray Hanoverian mare by Qualito, an entry owned by Rupert Winkleman. Sport horses, number 497. Clear rounds entry, or clear rounds so far, that is, are Vanessa Hood with FBW Graphic, Tom Wackman with Oboras Laura, Scott Keach with Evan de Couvry, and Shane Sweetenham with Corian van Klapsut. And again, they're clears. We do have some of the entries with faults still among the top 10, but lots yet to go. 6 more in the first half of the class, then we'll take a drag break at the midway point. Flawless finish, 69.59 is the time, and that could come in handy for Tanamara Makari and Quinala T, because that is the quickest of the 4 falters, hedging her bets to be a part of the top 10 return. For Spain, we have Sergio Alvarez Moya now in here aboard Cuadrado, number 386. Add that clear to the list, and Cuadrado and Sergio Alvarez Moya will currently rank 6th among our rides here. As each clear round stacks up, it makes it less likely that it's going to be just clears that get into that second round. Potentially only the fastest of those clears will get through. Hillary Scott coming up on her ride, Cletterima. This is for Oaks Sport Horses and Mayford Farm. This is a 13-year-old Holsteiner mare by Cletterima, and our rider for Australia. Again, Hillary Scott. Wrapping up with just the one knockdown there at number 9. That's a 4-fall penalty, and it goes into 9th place as well in 71.86. In next is Michael Jackson W., one of our 3 left to go under German rider Richard Vogel. Here he is on this 9-year-old Royal Dutch Warm Blood gelding by Diamant de Semilly. Just wrapped up a podium spot in our 2-star Grand Prix qualifier, our previous class here on Friday, and hoping to be a part of the top 10 return in our winning round. The rider comes to us as the current world number 6. Got to reiterate here, a fast clear gives you a better chance at coming back. Richard Vogel is the quickest in 68.12 with Michael Jackson W. So he is your current front runner And we have so far had a total of 7 clear rides. First of 2 left before we'll take a midway drag break. We welcome in Ireland's Francis Derwin here aboard Gospel Tem, one of his winners from earlier this season. This is a 10-year-old Cell Francais stallion by Quadrio Tim, owned by Ranoco Jump Limited. .58, the 4-fall time here for Francis Derwin and Gospel Tem. That's going to still be inside of the top 10, 9th in the ranking. And one more entry again before we reach that midway point. We'll take a break to drag after Cian O'Connor of Ireland joins us on Canbella Blue PS. He's earned his way up to the 22nd position of the Longines ranking up to now. And there's his bell. And of course, that means that we're ready to score the round for this 12-year-old Dark Bay Hanoverian mare by Cantular. Carlswood Partners, the owners. And again, Cian O'Connor rides number 587. After this, we'll take some time to freshen up the footing with a quick drag break. Cian score with Canbella Blue PS, 69.86. He'll be in the 8th position of the ranking right now. And as we get to the midway point of the class, we'll talk about the clears first off. Richard Vogel and Michael Jackson W, the quickest of those clears. So they sit in the lead right now in this first round. And Tanamara Makari and Quinella T, Shane Sweetner and Corian Van Klebsut, Scott Keach and Van de Couvre, Tom Wackman with Obaras Laura, Vanessa Hood with FBW Graphic, and Sergio Alvarez Moya with Cuadrado are the 7 clears. Kean O'Connor just went to the quickest four-fall time on Bella Blue PS. He ranks 8th. Aaron Vale and Elias Dumoulin 9th, and Francis Derwin and Gospel Tim are 10th. We're talking about those rankings in the first round because it's only the best 10 that will get through to the winning round. Once they're there, they will have no faults carried over. The only determination that will be made by their first round scores is where they go in the winning round, with the quicker entries among the clears going early and those who are lower in the rankings among those top 10 going later in that order of go. But again, it will be a clean slate winning round competition over the short course. Right now, though, we'll give our tractor drivers some time to freshen things up. Back after the break with the continuation of our 5-star feature on the day. Again, brought to us by Mars Equestrian and Florida Coast Equipment, one of our generous sponsors as well, featuring the Kubota products you're just about to see. Florida Coast Equipment is family owned and operated. Your local Kubota dealership. Unrivaled product support and superior customer service can be found at their locations as well as online at floridacoasteq.com. Other support comes to us from EasyGo. Founded during a hot summer in 1954 in a cramped one-room machine shop in Augusta, Georgia, two brothers started with a simple belief that they could build a better golf cart that met the needs of the customers better than any other vehicle on the market, and they're trying to sustain and improve that position to offer an unparalleled combination of world-class products, advanced technology, manufacturing expertise, and extraordinary service that led EasyGo to cover new ground. Escape on your next adventure in an all-new EasyGo. Also, thanks to Coca-Cola Beverages Florida, family-owned franchise. Coca-Cola bottler, a founding sponsor, and the exclusive beverage partner of World Equestrian Center Ocala. And finally, thanks also to Logano, proud sponsor here since 2021. They're a passionate supporter of the equestrian community, and Logano has created a collection of equestrian-inspired wearable works of art. Come see for yourself by visiting one of Logano's 9 boutiques in the United States and the United Kingdom, including their permanent location within the Equestrian Hotel in the heart of World Equestrian Center. For more information, please visit LoganoDiamonds.com. We'll see you after this break, and we'll thank some more sponsors while we take this time to get things ready for the second half of the class. Final tractor coming out of the ring. Next horse coming into the ring. At this point, 4 falters are not out of the running to be a part of the second round here. We have 70.58 4-fault time as the cutoff score for the top 10 up to now. Still plenty of big-name riders in the field, though, including Jacob Pope, who will be here aboard Jezebel, number 549, next. Rider for the USA, Jacob Pope, aboard the entry owned by Sherry Crawford. And this is an 11-year-old bay Swedish mare by Boyfriend du Seigneur, Jezebel, 549. No mission accomplished for Jacob Pope on Jezebel. Get to the finish line. Fallas do so in a fairly quick time, and that's been accomplished in 69.91, putting him into the 3rd spot. That'll give us a change to the cutoff score now with Aaron Vale currently on the bubble on Elias du Moulin in a 70.15 4-fault effort. So now it's 8 clears, 2 4-falters on that top 10 list. Bell rings for Peter Pechenik of Austria next. This is Wannabe CS, a 14-year-old Dutch stallion by Warrant, owned by Brooke Peterson, number 361. Wrap it up on 73.78. That is a 4-falter. Peter Pechenik and Wannabe CS. 73.78 with 4. Again, you got to be 70.15 or faster if you've got a knockdown to be a part of the return. Katie Dynan doing her best to get a clear round now on Cordani PS. She's here for Grant Road Partners with the 12-year-old Bay Hanoverian mare by Balou de Reventon, another of our riders for the United States. Again, Katie Dynan. That'll be a 72.88 time with 4 faults for Katie Dynan and Cordani PS. They want to be careful here to not have the knockdowns in the round, but in the event of a 4-faulter, of course, you have to be quick to get through to round 2 here. So it is a very fine line between those two. Felipe Amaral next up on his ride for Brazil. He's aboard Montezuma PS next. Montezuma PS is the 9-year-old Oldenburg mare by Messenger, number 367. That'll be an early rail for 4 faults, but a 69.41 time will keep Felipe and Montezuma PS in the top 9 right now. That's going to change the cutoff score to a 69.86 for Falter. And Kean O'Connor and Carnabella Blue PS sit on the bubble. Carly Campbell-Cooper for Canada up next on U2 Westleven Z. This is number 105, and Carly aboard for John Jameson on this 13-year-old bay Zangerside gelding by Uto Kevek. Well, that is a clear over the jumps, but there is a little bit of bad news on the clock there for Carly and U2 Westleven Z. 1 fault on the clock. She'll still be in the top 10 right now as 9th on U2 Westleven Z. 8 clear rides, a time falter, and a fast 4 falter right now in the top 10 for the return round. Felipe Amaral on the bubble there with Montezuma PS. Kama Godek is in with Connie 409. She's another of our U.S. riders, and here with the 12-year-old Oldenburg mare by Contargos. Waving off the balance of the round, there will be Kama Michelle Godek and Connie 409. She'll retire from the effort for today. "12 entries remain in the initial round before we adjust for the winning round. Next to go is Elena Haas and Casino Royal Z, number 594. This is a 16-year-old Zangersata gelding by Clintissimo Z, the PSZ Sport Horses entry, Casino Royal Z. Elena does all she can do to get into that second round, as she's a fairly quick clear on Casino Royal Z in 69.60, and she'll go into third place. We now have 9 clears and 1 with a single time fault among the top 10, and only the top 10 will be invited back. Second Tom Walkman ride is in. Here he is for Ireland aboard Pegasus this time around. The 9-year-old Grey Hanoverian gelding. This one is owned by Susan Magnier, number 617. One rail and 5 command seconds over the time allowed mean a total of 9 faults for Tom Wachman with Pegasus. Now it's the world number 3 rider, Ben Maher, here with his ride for Great Britain. This is Anjou de Grislin for Charlotte Rossiter and Pamela Wright. 12-year-old based Saint-François gelding by Toulon, number 580. In 75.89. From this point forward, we'll be able to tell you some of the guaranteed riders that will have a chance to come back, because at this point, 10 remain, and their current cutoff score is the one-time fault 74.13 from Carly Campbell Cooper. With every round hereafter, we will be able to tell you the ones who have guaranteed themselves spots. Of course, the quicker of the clears are at the top of that list, and Richard Vogel and Michael Jackson W. the fastest so far. But right now, this is Hillary Scott, rider for Australia, up on the 10-year-old Grey Royal Dutch Warm Blood mare by Cardento, owned by Alice Cameron. This is Lola. Hillary Scott and Lola, and 74.21 will put themselves just behind Carly Campbell Cooper and U2 Westliv and Z, though they are penalty-free over the jumps. They are a fraction back from the 10th position right now in 11th place. And for the time being, anyway, Carly Campbell-Cooper sits on the bubble with that one-time fault score. Right now, Richard Vogel is guaranteed a spot in the return with Michael Jackson W, as is Tanamera Makari with Quinala T. Just 8 more to show from this point. Nicola Philipparts for Belgium. Next up on H&M K Syrah. This is a 10-year-old bay Belgian mare by Seradik. The entry of Stuteri Arch, entry number 571. That'll be a 4 falter in 68.45. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Two, 1, 2. Check. 71.04, the penalty-free time into 6th place. Check, check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Stephanie Macera. Two, two, 1, 2. Richard Vogel with a 4 fault score. 1, 2. .427.
We might as well just use it tomorrow and use 5-star, and then it's the 5-star on the first jump. No, 5-star for the one we're missing. Okay. And we put the 10 on the vertical and then that's it. And then you see it. I think that's probably the best way. Down. So 12 jumps. 12. So it's okay. We lost 2. For a little savings, we would have 10 careers. It's better that than having folks going through and winning the next time because they will go through 0.
It's that kind of feel.
Hmm?
It's that kind of feel.
Exactly. Now we have time left anyway. Where do we start?
4B.
4B.
5, 6, double, wheels up, on, go.
Check, check. 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, check. 1, 2. 1, 2. Two. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Two, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, well, folks, we've obviously had some sound technical issues. We've gotten that worked out for you, and it's been quite a few rounds since the issue took place there. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at what's happened toward the end of the order of go here. We did have several more clear rides come into play, and when it was all said and done, Vanessa Hood, McLean Ward, Stephanie Maciera, all three got into the clear column. But at that point, we would finish up with a total of 12 clears, and that means that only the fastest 10 of those will be back for our return round. In the long run, you needed a time of 72:36 or faster to be included in the top 10 return, and we are just about to get ready to come back in that round. Low score to high score, or the quicker entries are the higher scored entries, and they will go late in the order here. So they have basically earned their right to come back late in the winning round. Tom Wachman, though, just made it on the bubble with Oboras Laura. That was the ride for Ireland, and that one will be our first to return. Stephanie Maciera and Toulouse Venet Prinsenveld Z will be second. She rides for Brazil. Australia's Scott Keach and Van de Couvray are third in the order. Vanessa Hood for Israel with K&T Geronimo fourth. Shane Sweetnam of Ireland with Corian Van Klepshoot fifth. McLean Ward, the USA rider that showed late in the order there with Lestro van den Valkenburg, will be sixth to return. We'll also have U.S. rider Jacob Pope with Jessie Bell, Elena Haas for the U.S. with Casino Royale, Tanamara Macari and Quinada T for Mexico, and Richard Vogel and Michael Jackson W for Germany. Those are the top 10, again, qualifying to come back in that order for winning round action. The drag work is in progress. We will have the return order and that winning round course coming up for you here a few minutes away. Two, 1, 2. 2, 2. Once again, we are getting ready to come back into action. We'll have about 2 minutes until we're ready to go with the second round, or the winning round, in our 5-star competition, again presented by Mars Equestrian. We're just about ready here, top of the order coming down from the warm-up area, and we'll have 10 showing in the winning round. They go in reverse order of their original scores, so the quicker clears go to the end of the order, and the slower of the clears early on in that order. Once again, including our top of the list, Tom Walkman for Ireland, who's making his way right now to the in-gate. The course here in the winning round begins over what was the middle of the triple combination, fence number 4B, the Longines Timepiece Oxer. Slight left-hand turn to the Beamer vertical with the solid orange rails just inside of the gate. Then they'll turn toward that gate, roll back to jump the 5-star red, white, and blue Oxer number 6. They'll come away from home over the World Equestrian Center purple, black, and white combination 7A and 7B. Continue on that right lead to the wheels up Oxer before they turn back away from the hotel. And the 2 final fences on this course will be fence 14, the orange and white vertical, where our rider currently is located, and then straight ahead to the North American League Longines vertical, which will now go in the opposite direction of the way we used it in round 1. This again is Tom Walkman for Ireland aboard Obora's Laura to set the standard.
Ponemos los dobles, ¿no? Sí, sí, ya que traigan los relojes. Sí, ahora vamos. Igual como estaba, igualito. Andy. ¿Qué pensaba que era? Solo copias. Llamar a Armando Martín. ¿Por dónde andas, güey? Oh, ok. Espérame. ¿Quieres mapear?
Rails at the top of the 5-star Oxer come down, and that'll be a 4-fall penalty at a time of 40.86 for Tom Walkman and Obora's Laura. 40.86 again with 4 faults will be the score. Just a bit faster out of the initial phase, and now back for the winning round. We have Stephanie Macieira joining us next, a rider for Brazil up on Toulouse Vanet Prinsenveld Z. This is number 535, second of 10 to go.
¿Está listo, don Chico?
Ya, güey. Solo por copia. No, pues, tío, pensé que andaba cerca, sino para que toparas al Chris allá en el Inter 1, pero no, ya aquí te veo. Ahora. ¿Sí estás en el 18? Te habló el Miguel ahorita. En el 9.
Pero sí, mira, cuando apenas voy a completar,
Ah, ya.
cuando
Pero no se quebró nada. Como que pensaron que se había quebrado, pero no.
Well, it's a penalty-free finish here for Stephanie, and the Toulouse Vanet Prinsenveld Z, so she'll become the target rider in 38.48 with no faults at all. Nicely done there in a penalty-free 38.48. So it's Brazil atop the standings as of now. Australia coming to challenge next. It's Scott Keach here with the 9-year-old Mount Aven de Couvray, the entry of Scott Keach and Molly Duda. 20 seconds and change the split time, by the way, after they finish over the combination 7AB. And you'll be able to keep an eye on the clock and tell whether or not Scott Keach and Aven de Couvray are on target to potentially overtake the lead at that point. Scott's time 38.71, and it comes at the expense of a rail in that combination. 4 faults on Aven de Couvray. 38.71 with 4 faults is currently second best. And we're about a third of the way through the winning round here in our 5-star feature. Again, Mars Equestrian sponsoring this competition here today throughout the week in our 5-star division. Check them out online at marsequestrian.com and social media at Mars Equestrian. Don't forget that tomorrow is the feature class of the week, the Longines FEI Jumping World Cup Ocala. That'll be a $300,000 main event with a 7 o'clock start time, and it's the only ticketed event of the week. So WEC.net is the website where you can purchase those tickets while they last. It'll likely be standing room only here tomorrow night. One clear score on the board right now. It's Stephanie Macieira and Toulouse Vanet Prinsenveld's 38.48 time. And now we'll see Vanessa Hood join us on KNT Geronimo. Here for Israel, and a winner in our 2-phase opening class of the week with the KNT Geronimo and Klitschko respectively. She had the top 2 spots in that class. To get over the top of the list now, she's going to have to beat 38.48 again with the Take 2 LLC entry, KNT Geronimo. 12 jumping faults and 17 on the clock at a time of 63.77. We hold at just one clear as of now. And again, it's Stephanie Mastiera up for the lead. Shane Sweetenham is about to mark the midway point in this winning round as he returns to the arena on Corian van Klepshoot Z, number 180. Rider for Ireland, Shane Sweetenham on the entry he co-owns with Volquest LLC. Now, Ryder taking a moment for horsemanship there as Vanessa makes her way back to the gate. We'll wish them luck as they exit. Shane Sweetenham on standby to join us next. And again, we've got 38:48 as the current target time. As I mentioned at the start of this winning round, the top 10 made it based on their first round scores, even though we had more than 10 clears. The quickest of those 10 were the ones that got through to round 2. And the better of the entries from that first round are the ones that will go later in this order. Shane, of course, by being fifth in the order of go here, middle of the pack based on the first round performance, but it's the second round that's going to get the prize money here today, and he's trying to beat 38:48. Well, you can see the difference between first and second now with Shane Sweetenham and Corian van Klepshoot Z running and gunning to the finish line there, 35.80. They were 1.48 seconds quicker at the split and even faster at the finish line. 35.80 will be about 2.6 seconds ahead. So it's Ireland on top now, 5 entries remaining. A few of those are U.S. riders, including our U.S. number 10 ranked McLean Ward, here with Lestro van den Valkenburg, here the ETC Custodian entry number 220. McLean Ward's time, 37:22. He'll wrap things up in second as of now. Faster at the split, but a little bit back at the finish line there on Lestro van den Valkenburg. So he goes right now into second place. It's Stephanie Macera in third. Shane Sweetnam remains on top. That's with 4 left to go. Jacob Pope coming in next. Here into position 1 higher on the return order through a slightly quicker time on Jesse Bell. So he's the first of 4 left aboard the entry owned by Sherry Crawford. Again with Jesse Bell, it's Jacob Pope. 4 for the knockdown, 38.41 the time for Jacob Pope. He'll rank 4th on Jesse Bell currently. That's with 3 left. Shane Sweetnam's time aboard Corian van Klapschutt Z at the finish line was 35.80. Midway through the course after the combination, he had a 21:38 split. Lena Haas hopes to be quicker than that now with Casino Royal Z. This is the PSZ Sport Horses entry, number 594. Final rider for the USA here in our winning round 5-star class, sponsored by Mars Equestrian. Once again, it's fence number 6, the 5-star Oxer that comes down for a penalty of 4, 39.46 with 4 goes into 6th place. And now we've got Ireland on top, the USA in number 2, and Stephanie Macera for Brazil in the number 3 position. Mexico and Germany riders are the last 2 on this order. We've got Tanamara Makari in next on Guenala T. This is entry number 497, owned by Rupert Winkleman Sport Horses.
Dice que Omar estuvo viendo eso de los donde está lo del mafia, de los palos, que son unas cosas blancas así en L. Yo creo que son precisos que tienen base, güey.
Trying to catch 35.80. Shane Sweetnam again in control of the class right now with Corian van Klapschutt Z.
Sí, que eso lo estuvieron viendo. Y las rosas sí son las rosas, güey, no que color rosa. Güey, ¿sí me escuchaste?
615 on back, final 615.
aquí te escucho. Las rosas son las rosas, güey. No color rosa.
Number 14 down. That's a score of 4 and a time of 36.83. Rider dismounting here on the turn back after the finish line. We'll get her checked out. And just a heads up at the gate for our loose horse. All right, looks like hopefully no worse for the wear. There is our rider, Tanamara Makari. Encouragement certainly welcome there if you'd like. Tight turn back here around the bend, and she came unseated and unfortunately parted ways from her mount. But back to her feet. Her horse is in hand there at the gate, and they will rejoin forces as they make their exit. One more to go now. Richard Vogel of Germany is going to be our last to go here with Michael Jackson W. And incidentally, as Tanamura wrapped up on a 4-fault score there, 36.83 was a pretty quick time and would have been second if not for that rail. So now here comes Richard Vogel. He has been a winner earlier this week, trying to do it again on Michael Jackson W here in our 5-star winning round competition. Time to beat again is 35.80, and Shane Sweetnam watching this last ride to see whether or not his time on Korean Van Klapschuit Z was enough. Richard Vogel and Michael Jackson W just demonstrated a very quick route as evidenced by the time, 35.55. It unfortunately came at the expense of a rail early in the course, so that's a 4-fault penalty, and he'll finish up on the 4th position. Top 3 rides will be the clears from the winning round. Shane Sweetnam, McLean Ward, Stephanie Nasira included in that list for Ireland, the USA, and Brazil. There'll be all podium finishers with Korean Van Klapschuit being the winning mount. Lestro van den Valkenburg will be second, and Toulouse will be third. Toulouse van het Prinsenvel Z in that 3rd spot. Michael Jackson W again was Richard Vogel's ride for the 4th position there. The quickest finish, but with the knockdown takes him to 4th. Then Tanamara Makari and Quinala T in 5th. Jesse Bell and Jacob Pope in 6th place. Avant de Couvray was the Scott Keach ride for Australia in 7th. Elena Haas showed Casino Royal Z for the USA into 8th place today. And the top 8 joining us for the awards coming up here in a few minutes. Boris Laura was the Tom Walkman ride for Ireland. That one finished in 9th. The Vanessa Hood ride, KNT Geronimo, was 10th. And while she did not get into the winning round with FBW Graphique, that one was a clear and ranked 11th based on the 1st round score. Cuadrado also a clear in the 1st round. Not quite enough to get into the 2nd phase, but that will be 11th, or rather 12th place with Sergio Alvarez Moya for Spain. And rounding out the top 13 ribbons, Canada's Carly Campbell-Cooper, who was just a fraction over the time allowed there with U2 Westleven Z. Presentations are coming up. Mars Equestrian, again, our sponsor, and their sponsorship is the link between iconic brands and the equestrian community. For generations, Mars has celebrated a rich equestrian heritage, and through purposeful partnerships, Mars Equestrian is committed to the sport and to building an enduring legacy. From world-class competitions across across all equestrian disciplines to stewarding the power of horses on society and sustainability, Mars Equestrian is dedicated to improving the lives of horses, pets, and the people who love them. Their website is marsequestrian.com. You can check them out on their social media at Mars Equestrian as well. Incidentally, we do have one more class in this Friday's schedule. That'll be our $15,000 meter 45 jumper classic, one of our U.S. Equestrian Federation guideline events, and that will be the final event of the day with 14 to go. But we hope you'll stay for the awards here and for that final class of the day. Award coordination crew here headed up by Jennifer Glass along with Becky Werner and Alyssa Tupass. They're getting those horses ready at the top of the ramp to come back down for our presentation of awards. Top 8 have been invited to attend our prize giving ceremony. Well, Shane Sweetenham was just out of the podium spots in his previous 2 finishes. A 2-phase 4th on Baloo H there in the 2-star division. Also finished 4th in yesterday's 5-star qualifier with James Conn Cruz. That said, those are both clear entries in their outings, but today it was clear and fast up on Corian van Klepsutzi. For Sweet Oak Farm, he'll be joining us here along with Voquest LLC, the co-owners, and leading the way into the ring for our award presentation. All right, Shane Sweeten with us here again, representing Ireland and aboard Corian van Klapshoot Z. He is, again, our top contestant here in the awards, and we'll be honoring him with the national anthem of his home country, the national anthem of Ireland. Shane Sweeten again with Corian van Klapshoot representing Ireland and taking the top call here today. Again, the finish time 35.80. He'll make his way over for a photograph, and our representatives from Andrew Ryback Photography will do the honors. All right, folks, we're going to be sending Shane off to lead the way in a victory lap now. Top call aboard Corian van Klapshoot Z, and again, he's earned the right to lead this crew in that round of honor. Salute again to all of our riders here in the top positions for the awards in our winning round competition, brought to us again by Mars Equestrian. One class remains here in this Friday schedule, our national class in the meter 45 division. $15,000 Jumper Classic will be that last Friday performance.